Justin Cooper on the Pulp Mech Show, brought to you by the folks at Acherby's USA. Check it out. Justin, I'm sure you heard the press conference comments from Chase and Jett and Eli about the long season, and it's a lot. And like you mentioned, you did all the races. It's your first year, so you're not a wily veteran guy. But Eli was like, "Hey, I haven't really been here, and it's more money, so sign me up." But Jett and Chase were definitely pretty proactive about the length of the schedule. And I talked to some people involved in the promoter end of things after the race, and they were like, "Yeah, man, too bad. These guys are getting a lot of money," which SMX is a lot of money. But where do you stand, Justin, on it?
Yeah, I agree. I think overall we're doing too much racing. 31 rounds takes up most of the year, and it really doesn't give us much off time. Like, I think we're planning to do 2 weeks completely off training, and then starting right back up for like another 40 weeks of training. So it's really hard to say. I think going forward, these 3 SMX rounds are not bad at all when you're coming off the heat of the summer and the 35-minute motos. Like, this weekend kind of felt like refreshing to, like, I wasn't tired like a normal national. Like, everything is, toned back a little bit. And so that part's nice, but I think just the length of the series in general is getting a bit much. And I don't know, there's just got to be ways to maybe even do the same amount of races, but in
stretch it out,
shorter amount of time. Yeah,
short,
I don't know.
Jake, for you didn't have SMX. You guys were end of August, first week of September, boot camp November 1, right? For you?
Yeah, roughly. But so no SMX, but we did have Monster Cup, and then which was just one round.
Yeah.
But then a couple years I went to Bercy, and then so you could almost kind of make it similar. But no, I didn't do SMX. Obviously.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, you probably felt like, hey, where's my off season gone?
I did, and that's why it's hard. Like, on the other side of the fence, it's like looking back at it now, I 100% understand where Justin's coming from, and he's 100% right, because it's not even necessarily the races. It's Monday through Friday what the grind is, and that's what's like you can't go racing without the training part. So that's what makes it really long. But being now like a retired and not doing it, it's like it is what it is. Try and have, I'm not going to blow your mind, but try and have the best attitude about it and just put the money in the bank. You'll thank yourself down the road, like it's easy to have. I understand why they're bummed on it, and it just seems like such a grind, but it'll be over soon.
The one thing I think that's different, Justin, and correct me if I'm wrong, like, Justin, if you just went to Swanee and was like, hey, man, I'm tired. I'm off for the week. Like, I'm doing nothing. That's not going to happen, right?
Well, it's not going to help either. Like, doing nothing doesn't really it just doesn't work.
Okay.
Like, it might work for that week, but then it's going to catch up to you. So there's a very fine line between working slightly less and all that stuff, but it all really comes down to the traveling. Like, I just remember like getting deep into the Supercross season, kind of being over it, and then I had Seattle coming up, and then like flying from Florida to Seattle, and then taking a red eye back from Seattle that night. Like, it like mentally, it gets like binds up, and it just gets repetitive. It gets tiring. It's mentally tough. It's not only physically tough. It gets really mentally challenging throughout the year.
Nobody talks about the media. We're doing it too.
Unbelievable.
No, but like when I was working for Red Dog, obviously he was older. I know there were weeks, we didn't tell Jim Perry, the manager, this, but there were weeks where Timmy did nothing. He's like, I didn't ride, I didn't bicycle. He's older. Yeah. But he's like, I did nothing this week. I felt like I needed it. Yeah. So
one thing that's hard too that I'm sure it's been talked about at some point, but that's hard with motocross as a side to like a stick and ball sport or something, is they can show up on a Monday and get on the field and kind of just like go through the paces and get the blood flowing.
Yeah.
If you're on that motorcycle, especially Supercross, like you can't really just go through the paces. Yeah. Like, because if you're kind of lackadaisical a lot at that times, that's when you mess up. So it's like you're kind of either full bore or nothing.
Yeah, and you look at NASCAR, their schedule is long, but those guys are not driving during the week. MotoGP is 19 rounds. MXGP 21, Lewis? 20 rounds. You look at any kind of motorsport, IndyCar is shorter. Like our athletes who are in the most physically demanding motorsport are doing the longest, most races. Yeah. It doesn't make a lot of sense. But, you know, that's Justin. That's why you make the big bucks. Lewis, do you have a question?
I was just going to say on the schedule thing, it's weird. In MXGP, it is more normal for guys to just say, I'm taking a week off.
Yeah.
But I think it's because there's no training compound. Training is more of like a relaxed, or like having a trainer is more of a relaxed thing. I feel like here it's so regimented that the idea of thinking outside the box is like a big no-go. Yeah. For whatever reason.
And when the MXGP guys go to Indonesia, they all, the back-to-back rounds, they all hang out all week, right? Yeah. They don't. Everybody stays down there.
And I think it's more refreshing as well because like if a sand race is coming up, you train at Lommel. If a hard pack race is coming up, you go to France. Yeah. See different scenery. Yeah. Whereas going to the goat farm every single day for however many days, I'd imagine that is soul destroying.
Justin, you guys ride at MTF a lot, right? I don't know how often that works, but you guys do go to MTF.
Yeah, well, we're riding at Colleen's house actually right now. We had a SMX track built, like that's been all over Instagram and stuff. We just been, riding that, doing all our riding there. So yeah, we get we have a few tracks around that, we can kind of give and take from, which is nice to switch it up there. And I wouldn't even say that gets repetitive, but you guys brought up a good point. Like when you have 10 guys riding at the farm, and you're that one guy that's like, feeling the effects from the season. You're like, oh, I'm going to take this week off. Like, you have all the other 9 guys there training, and then it's like the team's looking at you like, what's wrong with this guy,
Yeah. No, that's probably right, yeah. And then slowly it gets leaked to the media that Justin Cooper's lazy. And then you're like, oh, yeah, no, it happens.
Yeah, but do you not think that in America specifically, training programs aren't tailored to the rider? They are tailored to the group. I feel like it maybe would help if it's more specific, like maybe I'm way off base. Yeah. But I feel like in Star's instance, and Jacob can talk to this, I feel like it's more like this is what the group's doing rather than, oh, you're a little bit tired, let's do this week. You're great, let's do this. You know? Could that be more advantageous if it's more specific?
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think it goes off each person too. Like I personally enjoy riding with all the guys. Like it's kind of like motivating for me. It kind of keeps you, in line. Like it keeps you doing your work and keeps you pushing, not getting lazy. But back to like the whole season thing, like I feel like I go through stages of like, all right, I'm really like over it at this point, but then like you just find new motivations throughout the season, and that's kind of where I've, like right now I'm not, like I'm fine. Like it feels like I've done a long season, but I'm like still freshly motivated. Like there's just certain things that like you gotta like refresh in your mind that it's whatever trick works for you. But like I feel like everyone's gotta reset their mind somehow and get back into that motivating mindset.
Jake, when you were at Baker's factory, when I went there one time with Kenny and RV, you were not in a good spot to to make a new challenge.
No, that was I mean, there was a lot going on then, but no, it does. It's not easy.
No, it's not easy. Yeah. No. Hey, Jacob, I kind of heard the break and the nationals for you. You didn't do as well after the break as you probably wanted to. You were in tight battle with AP for 3rd overall. I heard you were banged up a little bit from a crash. Was that factual, or did I hear wrong?
Let's see. After
Washougal.
Washougal, I crashed Moto 2. I was fine from that. I definitely crashed hard. Like it didn't feel good, but was fine from that. And I was really feeling the effects from the season. Like Moto 2, I was struggling like physically, even with the crash. Like just wasn't feeling right. So I took a week off after that, and then I was doing a bunch of recovery and stuff like that. And came into the last 3, was feeling good. Unadilla went pretty well. Had a first turn, something happened in the first turn, second moto, but I had a good showing there. And then Budds Creek, I had that big crash off the start, and that one really, like, that hurt. Okay. I was sore for the rest of the outdoors for sure. And just didn't really feel like myself after that. That one really took the wind out of my sails. And yeah, me and AP had a really good battle going for that third spot. He obviously picked it up towards the end, and would have been hard to hold on to that for sure. But
yep.
Yeah, now I feel like I'm kind of in that, like I said before, like I'm refreshed, and the super motocross thing is kind of, it's just refreshing to get back on a little bit of Supercross and out of it. I think it's just out of the heat, man. Like it's been cooling down in Florida actually, and that's been like, you know, night and day difference to for motivation.
Yeah, I bet I can understand that. Hey, I said earlier in the show, I talked to a rider that was in the main event, and they were like saying that we were all wondering how the fuck Eli is riding with a scoop out there, and we know you're not a fan. And the team basically made you put it on for one race for Millville, I think it was, or whatever. Can you believe he was going that fast with a scoop out there?
Are you talking about Charlotte?
Yeah, Charlotte, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. I don't understand it, really. I haven't tried it, though. I know I was following him in practice a few laps, and he was definitely, like, the outdoor section, it looked like it was working really well. And
yeah.
I just think, like, he's so hard, and he rides that 450 so hard that I think he just makes that thing bite.
Sure.
Like, I think with someone like me, I don't think it would work very well. I think it would skip around like on me pretty quick. But I think he just rides the bike so hard, and he puts so much weight into the ground that I think it just bites for him.
Yeah, how heavy he is, how aggressive he is, just
yeah, exactly, with the clutch and everything.
Right.
I think he found something there.
I heard every single rider who I asked after the race said that the rhythm section wasn't built to Supercross spec. Transitions were tighter, jumps were peakier, and they all complained to Dirtworks, and they said it was Supercross spec. So did you feel like the rhythm section was a little funky?
Yeah, it was too tight, I think. Peakiness, I know what they're saying there. Like, I don't think they touched the rhythm. Like, they didn't prep it much all day because it just got harder and harder throughout the day with the ruts and all that. But I felt like the space in between was way tighter, and like you couldn't clip anything or else it messed up the whole rhythm. And I think the peakiness, like I felt like there was a lot of G-outs in that rhythm, but nothing like I haven't seen on a Supercross track. I think it was just more how tight the transitions were. I would definitely agree with that.
Corey's fault. Corey from Dirtworks, his fault.
Did you hear this from riders after the race as well?
I heard it last year also. J. Coop, don't you think it was kind of the same last year? The rhythm was weird?
That rhythm was definitely weird, and I was not, like, only a few people were doing that big line, and there's, you know, if it was, I don't feel like we go to a Supercross and there's only, like, one guy doing a line, you know?
Yeah, I was asking Marchbanks, because he did it in practice a little bit, and I said, hey, why weren't more guys doing that? And he kind of said, he was kind of confusing a little bit, but he basically said, you got to nail it so perfect that you just couldn't, to get in the pocket, to quad it. You know, I'm like, okay. Like, he just said it was too hard to do it at speed, or I don't really know, but I was surprised too, J. Coop, because, yeah, all you guys are amazing, and to see only, I don't know, in the night show, say 5 guys do that line, you know, not even consistently, it was weird, because you guys are all.
Yeah, I just felt like it was so tight. Like, you go on, off, and you had to get that super clean and kind of finesse the bike. And I'm saying this, I haven't even done the rhythm, but just what I saw, like, it seemed like you had to be pretty precise and get in the pocket really nice in order to do it.
Right.
Was there a part of you in Charlotte that had the fact that it was single points in the back of your mind? Like, if Charlotte was the triple point round, are you maybe pulling that quad?
No, because I think it was just as fast to do the other rhythm. The thing was, it was way more consistent to do the bigger line because everyone was doing the other rhythm. Like, in the second moto, I messed it up twice, but watching the race back, like, those last few laps, Eli actually messed up the big line, and it felt like he would have got closer to Jett if he didn't, because Jett had also messed up the rhythm in front of him.
Yeah.
So it was kind of just something that everyone was, you know, everyone was making mistakes in that rhythm. It was definitely tough.
Deegs got it down.
He got it down for sure.
That was impressive. Yeah, that was for sure. But yeah, I mean, it's the old thing, right, Jake? Where like, hey, I could jump this for 20 minutes. If I screw up once, I'm losing 2 seconds, and all my gains are gone. So
yeah, I mean, it's not if it's something that you're sitting on the line, like kind of tripping on, like it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Just stick to what you know and just do it for 20 minutes and race it.
Yep. Would you have liked SMX? Do you think, Jake? Would you have liked it?
I don't think so.
No.
Honestly, I don't think so. Like Supercross suspension, kind of high speed track, like outdoors was more difficult for me to be good at.
Right.
So either put me in a stadium or outside. Don't do both.
Don't do both.
Don't do both.
Okay, fair enough. And then how bad was that roost, Jay Coop? How bad was that? I heard people were just not happy.
Yeah, I didn't. It didn't feel good, but you know, compared to the outdoors, like it wasn't.
Sure.
You know, anything crazy. Like I didn't go down the straightaway right behind someone like very much, but there was kind of room to move around. Like you just move over on those 2 long straightaways, and yeah, I didn't really mind it.
After Charlotte, are you reinventing the wheel with anything? Like, did Charlotte teach you that something in your program is just way off?
No, I felt really good all day, and yeah, it was nice to get the whole set in the second moto and kind of just run with those guys for a bit and see what they do. Because you know, it's really good to learn when you're up there. It's the best way to learn is riding with those guys, and yeah, just I think you know, getting whole sets like that and you keep doing that, you learn more and more and try to hang on for a little bit longer each time.
Sure.
And what you learn is that they are way out of their comfort zone, and that's where you need to be.
Yeah.
I think just a little more. Like I wasn't far off. I definitely could relate to the speed that they were going. They were just doing some, you know, Jett was in particular. He was jumping through that sand section, which was making a lot of time that I really didn't even think about. Like you kind of have to go back and watch it from a spectator point of view to really understand like where you're getting caught and, you know, where you're losing that valuable time. And I think just, watching it back, it wasn't anything too crazy. Just, those starts definitely help.
Justin Cooper here on the Pulp Mix Show, brought to you by the folks at Acherbys USA on social. Great plastic, always fits nice, sponsoring a lot of teams out there, including Kawasaki as well. Jay Coop, last question from me. You re-signed with Star for next year from what we gather?
Yeah, all good.
Multi-years, 1 year? What salary do you have? Anything you want to tell us, go ahead.
Just 1 more year with them for now. And it's been a really good year. They're pleased. I'm pleased. Yep. We have a good base going into next year, and you know it's been all good. So
awesome.
Not to do it again.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think you had a good year, a nice year, and I mean, laps led and wins and heat race wins. So let's get a little better next year. But you're on track, I think. I don't think anybody can be like. I don't think anybody on Lewis's website will be like, "Oh, Justin Cooper sucks."
I don't have a website.
You do. Vital MX.
I do not have a website.
That's your
it's
website.
It's not my website.
No, good season and good Charlotte race, man. It was nice to see you lead laps. Thanks for the time tonight, buddy. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, guys.
Right. See ya.
See ya.
That's Justin Cooper, everybody, brought to you by folks at Acherbys USA.
I think we're onto something.
Oh,
I think training compounds are very good. I think you need tailored for specific riders.
I mean, they're good because if only we had anybody here who went to one and trained at one and rode one every day and then also did their own things for a while.
Yeah, we don't have that.
Well, we don't.
Well, you saw the photo with me. That was when I was on my own program.
Let's write this down.
Oh, again.
Let's table this for later because this is a good conversation because I have opinions on this from talking to some guys.